The year is 1775. A cold wind blows across the fields of Massachusetts. Men with pitchforks and hunting rifles. Soldiers in crisp red coats. It seems an impossible fight. A collection of disparate colonies, populated by farmers, merchants, has dared to challenge the mightiest empire the world has ever known. Great Britain is a global superpower, its navy ruling the waves, Caribbean, India. Its army is professional, well-equipped, battle-hardened. The American colonists have little more than a shared sense of grievance, a burning desire for liberty. They are outmatched, outgunned, outnumbered. It is a story of breathtaking audacity, a gamble against all reasonable odds. This was not a war that began with a single, thunderous clap. It was a slow-building storm, a rising tide of discontent over taxes, lack of representation. For years they were loyal subjects of the crown, but a series of acts passed by a distant parliament, Stamp Act, Townshend Acts, intolerable acts. The cry of no taxation without representation echoed, from the taverns of Boston to the plantations of Virginia. People began to see themselves not as subjects, but as citizens, imagining a future they could build. The leaders of the American Revolution were not naive. They were practical men who understood the grim arithmetic of war. John Adams, Thomas Jefferson. Congress knew passion alone could not defeat the British Empire. They needed more than courage. They needed gunpowder. More than brave soldiers, they needed a navy to challenge British control of the seas and hard currency to pay troops and buy supplies. From the beginning, their best hope lay in a powerful foreign ally. Their primary target was France, old rival of Britain after a century of costly wars. The French and Indian War ended in 1763 with France humiliated, forced to cede vast North American territories. French pride was wounded. The court simmered with a desire to humble Britain. Congress sent Benjamin Franklin, world-renowned, pragmatic, brilliant. He forewent powdered wigs and silks, wearing a simple brown suit and fur cap, becoming a sensation. Intellectuals were enamored with liberty. Nobles admired Republican government. Franklin used celebrity and skill to tirelessly advocate the American cause. Meanwhile, Spain, traditional rival of Britain, was wary of revolutions spreading through its vast American empire. Tempted by chances to regain Florida and pressure Gibraltar, Florida Blanca weighed risks in a careful diplomatic dance. Early in the war, France hesitated. Full alliance meant enormous financial and military consequences. Louis XVI and the Comte de Vergennes chose caution. They provided clandestine support to bleed Britain without open war, weaken the rival from the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment. This secret aid was a lifeline to Washington's army. Through Rodrigue Hortalez et Siey, set up by Pierre-Augustin Caron de Beaumarchais, France funneled supplies. Shipments of gunpowder, muskets, cannons, and uniforms secretly crossed the Atlantic. An estimated 90% of early American gunpowder came from these French sources. This covert assistance was absolutely vital. The turning point came in October 1777 at Saratoga. General Burgoyne's army was surrounded and forced to surrender to General Horatio Gates. Proof at last, Americans could defeat a professional British army. On February 6, 1778, France signed a treaty of amity and commerce and a treaty of alliance, pledging to fight until independence, with no separate peace. The alliance transformed a colonial uprising into a global war. Great Britain now faced a powerful enemy on a new front. While France made its alliance public, Spain moved with caution. Sharing France's aim to weaken Britain, they distrusted the American Revolution near their colonies. Spain refused a direct treaty with the United States. In 1779, Spain entered as France's ally, fighting Britain without endorsing American independence. The conflict expanded. Britain now had to defend Sugar Islands, Gibraltar, Minorca, and vulnerable Gulf Coast outposts. Every ship sent abroad was one less against Washington. Bernardo de Galvez, governor of Spanish Louisiana, acted decisively. With Spanish regulars, colonial militia, Native American allies, and free African Americans, he dismantled Britain's southern frontier. Forts at Manchac, Baton Rouge, and Natchez fell. He took Mobile, then won his greatest triumph at Pensacola, ending British power along the Gulf Coast. His victories kept the Mississippi open and tied down thousands of British troops, a critical, often overlooked contribution to final victory. France brought professionalism and firepower, money and supplies. In the summer of 1780, over 5,000 regulars under Comte de Rochambeau landed at Newport. Unlike British disdain for loyalists, Rochambeau placed himself under Washington, building crucial trust. Morale soared as seasoned infantry, skilled engineers, and powerful artillery joined the field. Trained in European siege warfare, officers like Lafayette linked Washington to the French court. The French Navy upended Britain's coastal supremacy. French squadrons challenged the Royal Navy in the Caribbean and along North America. Protecting Sugar Islands and convoys thinned British presence elsewhere. West Indies, the Channel, India, while Spain besieged Gibraltar, tying down British resources for years. The global pressure prevented Britain from focusing its full might on America. The war became too big, complex, and expensive to win. By the summer of 1781, the war reached its decisive moment. Cornwallis established a fortified base at Yorktown, assuming resupply by the Royal Navy, as it had all war. Then a window opened, and Washington seized it. The powerful fleet they had prayed for headed to the Chesapeake. While Clinton hunkered down, Allied armies raced to Virginia, a daring logistical gamble. Instead of British sails, Cornwallis saw de Grasse's blockade. The French won a decisive tactical victory, damaging British ships and forcing retreat to New York. Pinned by sea and surrounded on land, the outcome became inevitable. 17,000 Allies versus 8,000 British. French guns pounded defenses. Cornwallis surrendered his army, an anthem for a moment that changed history. Yorktown did not technically end the war, but it shattered Britain's will. Another lost army in a costly global conflict turned opinion decisively against the war. Complex talks among America, France, and Spain led to the Treaty of Paris. Britain recognized the United States, with borders from the Atlantic to the Mississippi, Great Lakes to northern Florida. Spain regained Florida. France gained little territory, yet saw Britain humbled and a republic born. The American victory was profound, but not won alone. French and Spanish intervention was indispensable. Their money kept the army alive. Their arms made it a world war Britain could not afford to win. Today, as we look back, the lesson is clear. The United States arose from American courage and wisdom, and from foreign friends who shared a common enemy. The world turned upside down, and a new constellation rose in the western sky.